you are very excited. You love the launch of the show.
Yeah.
What was the first message you saw of hate on your social media account?
I can't remember exactly what the first one was. It was probably some trash bag emoji or a vomit emoji or saying that I was trashy. But the one that stood out to me
So who are you?
I'm Jessica fucking Palkovic.
That's right.
I am a artist. I act and I sing and I dance, and I am who I am, I guess. I'm also a content creator on OnlyFans.
That's right.
That's 100%. 100% love that shit.
Oh, sorry, that's my alarm.
Oh no, that's okay.
That your
It's
15 seconds of fame are up.
Oh, sorry. Shit, should I go? Should I leave? Okay, bye.
I'm sorry.
That was amazing. I mean, because that's what I'm about.
Yeah.
I just, I use everything for, my 15 seconds of fame.
You've taken so much heat your entire life.
My whole life, honestly. Yeah. I grew up in a very strict Catholic family. While I feel like I also grew up doing theater, and I feel like I would hide a lot. Like, I'm only allowed to do, this, theater and express myself in these ways to a certain extent because it's not really me. I'm pretending. Through my whole life, I've always been kind of told, oh, you can be yourself, but not to, the full extent.
Yeah.
Don't be too much of yourself. Be this way for people. Make sure that you always make other people feel comfortable, especially men. Make sure you make men feel comfortable and, not you. You make sure that it's always other people. Don't think about yourself. So, yeah, I would say I've been through a lot of heat my whole life just from a young age. I mean, and just like everybody has.
But the difference with you is that in this heat, you've decided to hit back harder at it.
Oh, yeah.
You've been a hard worker your entire life.
Yes. My whole life, I have been working for just to be myself, personally.
Right.
And some people may say because of the career that I'm in, it's for, fame or money or just to be seen. But I am an artist through and through. I always have been, always will be. That alone is really hard and scary to be an artist because you have to put yourself out there, and not everybody accepts you for who you are. A lot of people have a lot of opinions and things to say.
There's an audience.
There is an audience, and people have no problem saying what they think about you, especially behind a computer screen. And when it's you don't even know me, you don't even know what I've gone through. I'm finishing my Saturn return, if anybody knows what that even means. I've gone through some shit, and what's been going on with me in the past 5 days, that stuff happened literally 3 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And that has nothing to do with my life. All I did was show up to a party that I was invited to.
Yeah.
So
you fell in love.
Yes.
A year ago.
A year ago. I fell in love a year ago.
Yeah.
Was the love of my life. And my best friend. Nobody even knows my story. And so when I fell in love with Sal, that was a really hard thing for me to do because I had made up my mind already that after being married before, that I was never gonna really allow myself to have a lifelong partner. I don't know. I've been through a lot with my past, and I wasn't ready for that. And I remember meeting Sal. Immediately, we both looked at each other and we were like, hi.
Yeah.
We were both feeling the same thing, but I remember the next day he had texted me and asked me out on a date, and I had said yes. And I was so scared. I almost canceled because I was just so over men, but I knew Sal was different. Like,
Yeah.
I hate most men. Like, I really do. Like, 99.9% of the population of men
Yeah.
I hate.
Yeah.
So, like, that says a lot about Sal.
Well, why do you hate 99% of the men?
The way I grew up, I was told to, like I said, always make sure that other people were comfortable. To, like, always please the male gaze.
Yeah.
And always dress a certain way, act a certain way, don't say certain things, like, ladies don't do this and that. Like, oh my gosh, I would have just the most craziest conversations with my parents about what I would, like, be wearing, and it was always so centered around men. Just anything
Like,
would
the
be like,
men will think this about
yes,
how
the
you're
men will think. What will
dressed.
the men will think? Like, what will they think? And also, just even what will the people think? But it was always mostly like, oh, Jessica, men aren't attracted to people who do that. Oh, you'll never get a husband like that. Everything was always focused around getting a husband my whole life, and that's why I let myself get married when I was 24.
Yeah.
And I instantly regret it. I don't regret it because that easily made me the strongest version of myself. I was like breaking through it because it was the first time that I really stood up for myself. I was in a very physically and mentally abusive marriage that is just really scary, and like sometimes like the things, like when I talk about it to people, it's like, I know this sounds dramatic, but like this is like what happens. And like,
Right.
so that, like, growing up in like a society that was always telling me to just like let like some things slide in relationships, like I feel like we were always, well, at least me, it was always like, oh, just like shove everything under the rug, like the husband's always right, just like be quiet, like just like figure out, like just bottle up your feelings, don't say anything. And it was always like everything was to make the man happy, I felt like. And I got married, and I felt like the whole time I was in this like housewife vision that like I had grown up daydreaming about. Oh, I'm gonna get married and I'm gonna have kids and everything's gonna be great and I'm gonna be on Broadway and everything's gonna be all rainbows and sunshines, but it wasn't. It was fucking horrible.
Because he was abusive.
It was abusive. I just also blame our society today for just making men feel like they have to like keep their emotions bottled up and not talk about how they're feeling, like just like be a man about it. And it's like, no, like people, we are all the same, we are all humans, and we all feel feelings and go through things, and there are certain emotions and feelings that you cannot ignore, and if you do, it will truly turn you into a horrible person. And that's why I hate men, because they just, most of them refuse to change. They don't want to do the work. They think the easy way out is to be an asshole. They don't fucking think about like, oh, I'm gonna catcall this woman out of the car and not even think about like whether if that's gonna fucking bother her or not, or send her down like a rabbit hole of like anxiety. Men today don't really think about that. I feel like men today are also even more intimidated by women than ever, because we are speaking more and we're taking up more space. And I feel like because of that, they want to do anything to shut us up. And it's like, no, we literally run the world. Beyonce. But with Sal, what makes him so different from all these men that I've been around, he really has just so open and honest with me and makes me feel safe. And the way we communicate is, I feel heard, he feels heard. Even, and I'm not saying our relationship is perfect. Like, it's not. Like, we definitely will have arguments, but they're not like massive, explosive, screaming at each other fights that like I was used to. Even if we get a little heated, if someone's like voice slightly raises, we'll be like, you know, let's take a second. We'll like walk away from it, and we both take time to think about it, and we return and like talk like adults so that both of us are heard. It's important to me as a woman to feel heard, and I know it's important for Sal too. And that's also just like, we both grew up in, I said I wasn't going to cry at this one.
You specifically did say.
I was like, I'm not crying at this when we talk about Sal. I fucking cry. Oh, he's just my best friend. I've never felt this space to be so safe with someone before, to truly be myself and allow myself to be loved fully again. And just to know that this person has my back. Like, I wake up every day and I think I'm in a dream because of just the shit that I've gone through.
I know how traumatizing abuse can be and is. I was also in an abusive relationship.
Right.
Now that things are so fabulous with Sal and you guys are both so in love, do you ever experience moments where you feel you're having trouble adjusting to how perfect things are?
Oh, 100%. And I'm the culprit for sure. I'm going back to therapy like before this show came out. Like, because everything is so nice and I'm so used to things going so badly, even in like the relationship that I had after my divorce. It went so south and I even made excuses for that person too. I feel like after a certain point in the relationship, it always goes south, and that I never have ever felt that with Sal.
Never. No jealousy ever. No worry.
So I definitely am the culprit in our relationship with that, because I am not used to everything going so well. And
yeah, that's a real thing. It's called adjustment disorder.
Yeah, I definitely have that. Like, yeah, with relationships. The most important thing for me and how we handle it, and I've always been so open and honest with him about it all the time, is I'd be like, hey, these are the thoughts that are running through my head right now, because usually when somebody in my past does this, this is what this means.
Right. Yeah.
And we got to sit down and talk about it. And it's work, but it's so necessary.
Yeah. It's like you just have to remind yourself, like, things are different now. Like, I even put alarms in my phone that remind me, like, life is different now.
Yes.
Just be grateful and enjoy it. Life is different. I think it will just be a process. It takes time.
It does take time,
so
and therapy.
Be patient, and then they have to be down also. Your partner have to be down for the journey of that healing. But do you feel like meeting Sal helped you heal from some of that abuse that you experienced?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm definitely still like wounded, and like I'm going to therapy for it. I absolutely blocked a lot of it out.
And then when you get in a relationship, you're like, oh, I thought I dealt with all of this.
I dealt with all of this. But really, I'm like, it's so many people always come up to me and they're like, oh my God, you're so confident and you're so happy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I actually like probably cried at least once a day.
Yeah.
At least once.
I cry at
least
1
to 3 times a day.
I'll be like, oh, I didn't cry today, and then it'll be like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, here it comes.
Right, and it's never, and it doesn't mean every time it's out of like sadness or anger, like, oh,
sometimes you're just overwhelmed or tired.
Yes, or happy. Literally.
Yeah.
I will seriously sometimes just like be looking, like I'll be in our apartment and I'll see Sal and his sibling and their dog Moo, and I'll be like,
whoa, we're here.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my God. And especially because right now we live in the apartment where like we fell in love, and it's super cool, and so I feel like I'm constantly living in a daydream, but now like we're moving forward. Yeah. And especially this whole past year has been so crazy because we've had to keep it under the wraps.
Yes. Okay, so Love is Blind season 2 happened. and then came After the Altar. In Love is Blind Season 2, Salvador was going to get married, and he
said no.
He said no. And he said no at the altar, and then after the altar, he met you.
A month after the wedding.
A month after the wedding. Wow, I didn't know that.
To the day.
Wow.
A month after.
And you guys were on the boat dressed as mermaids.
Yes. I was a dark mermaid and he was dressed like King Triton. And I remember he hugged my best friend and I looked and I saw his face and he was just like...
Yeah.
And I felt that I looked exactly like that. And I remember being like, oh my God, Jessie, like, smile.
Yeah.
So,
you guys remind me of the Spy Kids parents.
Oh my God, wait, so did you see somebody comment
I
that?
saw that.
Oh my God, they're like, it's giving me Spy Kids. I was
the reel you guys posted.
I know.
Yes.
Spy Kids vibes. And someone also said Sonny and Cher.
Yeah.
And I was like, yes, we are Sonny and Cher and Spy Kids combined.
How did that offer transpire?
The producers told Sal that if you start dating somebody, like, and just anybody in the cast, like, please let us know. Like, we want to keep it updated also so we can let you know what not to do. Because the show is still coming out. Even though he wasn't known then, like, he still has a social media account. And the show, it's like, it doesn't all come out at once. So you have to, like, keep it under wraps and be quiet about it. And so he told the producers that, and I was, like, excited. No, I was really excited when he told them.
Yes.
I was really excited because it was, like, a month in to our relationship. I was doing a show overseas, and that was really cool is that, like, we had actually started our relationship open but didn't see anybody.
Yeah.
We just saw each other. And then because I had gotten this booked a contract, and I was going to be gone for a while, we were like, oh, yeah, like, let's just be, like, open till you come back. And then a month in, like, we were like, and we'd already told each other that we loved each other, and it was just like, why? I don't want to be with anybody
You told
else.
you guys you loved each other a month in.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So it moved a little fast.
A little.
I have nothing against moving fast.
Especially when you've
been through
and you know that you love someone, you know that you love them. But I have never loved someone the way I love Sal.
You knew it was special.
We knew what it was immediately, and it was just scary. But he told the producers a month in, he was like, hey, I have this girlfriend, and they're like, is it serious? He's like, yeah, like, I'm not just, like, occasionally seeing her, like, this is my girlfriend, and we're exclusive, just want to let you know. And they're like, oh my gosh, great, amazing. So, like, just don't tell anybody, don't post pictures till the show comes out. Maybe 2 months after that, or maybe a month after, they reached out to him and they were like, hey, so after the altar, we bring on any family members or any new spouses or girlfriends, boyfriends, whatever. So do you want to bring your girlfriend? And he asked me if I wanted to come, and I told him, just because of course I wanted to go and support him, but I was also thinking about myself. I knew, like, going into this, it was going to be a little crazy. But I just wanted to go if Sal wanted me to be there. And so I made him make the decision. I said, I will go if you want me to go. I wanted to go on the show to support him, but I wanted him to make that ultimate decision. And also because I don't know if he had to still, at that point, if he still had any, like, thing he needed to say to Mallory or whatever. But, like, it was an uncomfortable situation, like, to be in. But I wanted to go if he wanted me to be there, and so I said that I would go.
So what would be, like, one word to describe the feeling that you had of, like, if I go, I'm going to be in the same room as Mallory? Like, what's one word to describe that feeling? Or face.
Yeah. Like, literally just, okay. But I will comment and say that going into this show, my whole focus was on Sal and just being there and supporting Salvador. We both came with olive branches to everybody. We were offering friendship and just, like, good vibes, a good time. To the women especially, because it's also, my thing today is if we, just with everything that's going on in the world, we may not all disagree, but we all have to be in the same room and support each other.
Lady Gaga.
Lady fucking Gaga! Wrigley Field. Oh my God, I literally was crying. I literally was like, yes, we have to.
Yes.
It's just true.
Even if we don't agree.
Even if we don't agree, why can't we all just have a good time and respect each other for who we are and for the time that we have together?
Do you feel like she respected you? It's a tea party. What can you say?
No, she did not.
Did you want to elaborate into that?
No.
Okay.
Because she knows what she did.
Okay. So you didn't feel respected, and that wasn't shown on the show?
No. I came in and was nice to all these women, and I only received positive feedback from 2 of them. Mm-hmm. And it was really just sad. Coming from what I had just gone through and being surrounded by so many supportive, powerful women, and also being the youngest woman at that whole thing, it just was really and also just the way that Sal had talked about the other women. He had told me, he was like, you're gonna get along with all of these women. And I was excited. And I wasn't worried about Mallory because I didn't think that she was gonna fucking cause anything.
The iconic line, I
was never worried about you, because I was never worried about her saying shit to me. Like, and she had nothing to say to me. So it's just like, I was never worried about you. And anyone can think what they want about that conversation, but we all watch reality TV shows, and that's all I can really say about that whole conversation.
Do you have any regrets about that conversation?
The conversation. I am just gonna say that.
Were you surprised when you initially watched it for the first time without seeing anyone's comments?
Well,
anything.
I was just, honestly, I was fine. I thought it was great. I was like, fuck yeah, we slayed it. I loved our 80s entrance. I was screaming. I was really just worried about that whole part.
Just to wrap that up, there was nothing you would do differently about that situation, and you don't feel like Mallory respects you to this day.
What I would have done differently is I wish I would have stood up for myself more, and I would have said more to Mallory's face.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. Had I been given that invitation to go spend a weekend with my partner and his ex-fiance, I think half of me honestly would go just because I would know like his ex-fiance is gonna be there. Like, of course I'm gonna like go.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Mm-hmm.
And then second of all, it is exciting because it's freaking Netflix. Like, it's a show.
Yes.
Like, hell yeah, I want this life experience.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, this is going to be awesome. Like, I think everyone would feel that way, whether they're a performer or not.
Like, yeah, it's a really cool experience, and it was cool, but, like, I'm just going to support my partner. And it was a crazy experience being an actor and being on the set of a reality TV show, just to see the way that, like, it's so different, especially because in reality TV, you just have to show up and be yourself, and then, like, but when you're on set for, like, a film or something, you have to be a character, and you have lines you have to memorize. But we literally just showed up.
There's a whole art behind it.
Yeah, there's a whole art behind it, and just also seeing, like, how some of the cast members disrespected the crew was so, it's my biggest pet peeve. I was so upset with that. I mean, anytime we had our mics on, Sal and I made sure to tell the crew how much we loved them. Anytime somebody would do something different, like shitty to them, because they were always listening. Like
what? What kinds of shitty?
Oh my gosh! Like, because like it was like really cold when we were filming, but it's also March in Chicago, so you should expect any sort of weather, whether it's sunny and no jackets to blizzards and snow coats. Like, everything.
After the altar, and you're feeling great about it. You said...
Yeah, I was feeling great about it, and I felt like I was myself. I was really excited just about, like, seeing Sal and I, because it was cool because we hadn't been, like, out as a couple for a year.
So you have this grand launch kind of your relationship that you've been hiding from all social media platforms. You are very excited. You know, love the launch of the show. Yeah. What was the first message you saw of hate on your social media account?
I can't remember exactly what the first one was. It was probably some trash bag emoji or a vomit emoji or saying that I was trashy. But the one that stood out to me the most, somebody who's like, oh, she's a dancer but yet doesn't have any gigs, singer but nobody wants to hear her sing. Like, go home or something. And I'm just kind of like, actually, motherfuckers, I am in the point in my career where I get to pick and choose what I want to do. So then they start messaging your friends and your family, and it's like, do you have anything else better to do? Also, not just like messaging them, like saying that I'm a prostitute or a whore and they don't even know me, but like personally coming for them, like poking at some of my friends.
They were commenting on your looks, your career, your relationship. They were comparing you to Mallory.
Yeah. Especially just when everyone's saying that I'm too much and all this stuff. And like, I'm like, I'm so fucking sick of being told that I'm too much and that I should be this and that. And I'm supposed to be quiet. And it's like, shut up. Leave me alone. Y'all didn't even know me. And people are like, oh, you're not even on this show. And I'm like, well, clearly I'm like not a part of like the original cast, but like I see you.
Why do you think you received thousands of hate comments?
I feel like I've received thousands of hate comments because thousands of people are so scared to be themselves that when they see somebody being themselves, they immediately go and they hide behind their computers or their phones and they type it out. It's an addiction. People are addicted to being like mean to people.
I think it was
I know I said like sorry.
I think it was also a combination of that for sure, and also you and your partner break up, they move on, they're with another woman. Yeah. And it's like hating on that other woman, right? One of your main missions in life is to empower women. Yes. Me as well. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to figure out here between you two, because this is another issue that, you know, these haters on the internet are pointing out, is that they find you to be a mean girl, attacking another woman. I know. Is there anything, or was it just the way it was produced?
It was the way it was produced, for sure. I just remember watching me come into the home and like everyone's hugging me. And then they're like, what should your couple's name be? And I just immediately off my head, I was just like, oh, Jessador. And be like, everyone like, oh yeah, that's really great. And everyone be like, oh yeah, like that's funny. And then watching it, it was like, Jessador. Like, whoa, like dramatic music. And I thought it was fucking hilarious. Because I'm like, oh my God, of course. Like, here comes the girlfriend. It just, everything was so produced. But everything with, like, Sal and I, so real. We were real to each other, Salvador and I.
You have also received a lot of hate online because your career, part of it, is also in sex work.
Yes. Oh my God, I get like people messaging me, just telling me up and down all the things they want to say, saying that like Jesus is gonna save me. And
Jesus loves sex workers.
Jesus loves sex workers. Like, y'all, Mary fucking Magdalene.
He loves us more.
Literally, he loves us more. Seriously, I don't think it's anyone's business to judge anybody on what they do and why they do it.
Or to speak for Jesus.
Yeah, or to speak for Jesus. Like, I mean... God.
He can speak for himself.
He can speak for himself. I'm all about the chakras of the universe. So, but...
owning your your feminine energy and your sexual energy.
Yes. Are you really gonna fucking slut shame me for being on OnlyFans? Literally everybody has an OnlyFans. Everyone has an OnlyFans. And it's like so shocking when people are like, oh my god, there's an OnlyFans. I'm like, if you look it up, almost every celebrity has one.
If you don't have an OnlyFans, chances are
people don't understand how fucking hard it is. People don't understand. They think it's like, oh, you just get to like look pretty and take pictures.
Or
of
you
yourself.
don't want to show people yourself naked.
There's some days where like I don't feel like taking pictures of myself, but I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get up the courage and do it.
If someone's okay with it,
yeah,
then let them monetize their beauty
and empower themselves however they want to. I love it so much. I feel so empowered by being a content creator on OnlyFans. And also what I love about it is that there's a whole new branding of this platform where it's actually celebrating the creators, the content creators, and what we actually do.
I mean, it could be someone who has a really interesting history channel or confidence building channel.
Painting,
dance, vocabulary,
food, literally,
you name it, fitness, fashion, wellness, but they also could sell their nudes. It can be a complex person, and people can be complex. People could be more than a conversation in the kitchen.
Yes, people can be more than a conversation in the kitchen. Exactly. And what's also cool is that like some people genuinely like come to people's OnlyFans just to like really support what they're saying. Like
OnlyFans is breaking the stigma that it is just a sex work platform.
Yes.
But you do participate in selling sexual content.
I do.
I personally would just like to say that I completely support you. I think that what they need to understand is the grit that comes behind you.
Yeah.
And that you're a survivor. Mm-hmm. You are so much more than just selling your body. And for someone, but also there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with it, especially the way I'm looking at it. Yeah, I'm a content creator on OnlyFans, but I'm an artist first. And I have been through so much of my life, like trying to be a certain type of artist that's not fully myself. And now I am at a place where I'm able to support myself as an artist and make my work, make my music, my choreography, what I want to do. I don't have somebody telling me that how I want to express myself is wrong.
Yeah, and if you don't relate to someone, you just don't relate to them.
Exactly.
So move on. If you're feeling so strongly about someone that you're going to go to their Instagram and add a 3,000th comment about their looks or how they're cringy or whatever, before you write that comment, ask yourself why. Are you envious? Because if you have the demon of envy inside of you, chances are that that's something that you want. Mm-hmm. So just accept it as that. It's like a magnifying glass. It's helping me figure out who I want to be.
Yes.
I want to be so enthusiastic and confident in myself that I kick my leg behind my head because I'm so excited.
Yes.
Be that person.
And I'm sorry if I get so excited about everything. Life is exciting. Like, I've been through too much to not be excited about the little things, you know?
And some people are just theatrical.
Like literally, I'm sorry.
It's not that deep.
I am the most dramatic person. I love seeing the comments that people say where they're like, yo, this is a reality TV show and this girl's the only real person on here. But yeah, let's talk more about all these haters hating about sex work. I truly just don't think it's anyone's business on how somebody supports themselves. And also, I truly feel like most of the people who are commenting, I'm like, well, you're probably buying the stuff too. So I used to judge sex workers. I used to. Absolutely, 100%. I used to I always said that I would never be the person to do something like this. I was like, oh, I don't need to do something like that. I'm going to make a career for myself and on my own. And so when I started, like, the idea of it, and I started talking to people who I know who actually do it, people who are just like me, and like that are really strong and powerful women that I respect and look up to. I'm like, wait, what? Like, this
exists?
This exists, and, like, I can, like, actually make a career out of this. And what people don't know is that, like, it's all your content, whatever you sell is all up to you. Nobody is forcing anybody to do anything that they don't want to do.
Right.
It's literally all up to you. There were so many great benefits of this job, and just to see the outcome of how it benefits the people who are doing it. It was just amazing, especially after being through, I just feel like I've been struggling. Also, the love that I get from people, and not in a sexual way, on OnlyFans is really great too. Like, people, like, support you on there. It's a supportive community.
It's a very kind community.
It's a very kind community.
I've seen it help women get out of prostitution, which also I'm not judging either.
Yeah.
But I do think in some cases that it could be equivalent to rape, although there's consent given. So it's been nice to kind of see that relief come off their shoulders, like, oh, there's a different way for me. I've seen women leave unhappy relationships or abusive relationships, or, you know, support their child. You know, they're a single mother. Or take it as a major step to get some investment money and build an empire for themselves. Now, there's negatives to everything in life, especially something like this. So if you're going to do something like this, be 100% ready and get a good therapist behind you, because even if it ends up wonderfully and you're extremely successful with it, even great success can be traumatic. To have that vulnerability, it shows a lot of strength and a lot of grit. And I respect someone more that will wake up every single day and do what they have to do to make a living for themselves than someone to kind of succumb to what life is telling them to be.
Exactly. I 100% agree with that. And I feel like, because that's how I feel like I was before I started doing this.
Right. Contained.
Just very contained.
Well, Jessie, it seems like you've changed a lot.
I have.
You're not wearing your 80s stripper costume. Like, did Instagram take that away too?
No, unfortunately, they did not get their hands onto my costume. I decided to keep that away for special occasions.
Yeah.
But for everyone who's been asking, it is from Savage X by none other but Rihanna. But yes, Savage X. We love it.
I know that you are a confident person, and you know who you are. But one thing that you didn't completely share with us today is how hurt these people actually have made you on the internet with this incredible flush of hate that you've received. I just would like to point that out a little bit before we end. I know who you are, and I know that you are a profound person with a very rare work ethic. And you have an incredibly giant heart, and your literal entire focus of your life is for other people.
Yeah.
I just want you to know that I see that.
Thank you.
And I hope that everyone else sees a piece of that today as well and walks away with that. And if they're going to walk away with anything, I hope it's that.
Thank you so much.
And I also hope that they walk away with the understanding that sometimes people make mistakes, sometimes things get misconstrued, and no one is all bad, not even men.
Yes, but women are better. They are. It's just true. Oh my gosh. And you know what? Haters, like, please keep on hating. They're just going to motivate me more. So.
That's right. They're not going to see you fall.
No.
No,
They're
never.
definitely not going to see me fall.
Never. So you might as well enjoy this ride.
Yeah. Enjoy the show.
Top. Just come to the top with us.
Yeah. Literally. We're the both of us.
You're welcome. Even if you hated, you're welcome to join us to the top.
We're going to chat, talk about real shit.
That's right. Thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate it.
But
genuinely, it's a moment in our lives. Life is only so long.
No,
and this is a moment that we shared together.
And seriously, thank you for this whole experience and giving me a moment to just talk and be myself and express my feelings and also stand up for sex workers and like make some pretty good points for people to think about. So yeah,
just the beginning.
Just the beginning. Well, thank you for having me here, Miss Shia. You know I love talking real shit with you.
You know I love it too.
Oh, thanks for the tea time.
Cheers.
And just remember, I was never worried about you.